Are we good? Are we Deadpool Kyle? Holy crap, man. How are ya? Now I can't hear you. Boosh! There we go. 3 minutes in. Not a big deal, right? Right? What is a Going Nerdy live stream without severe technical difficulties? Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta show you right here. One, right there. I'm going up against, I feel like a zombie. Oh, dude, that sucks. I feel that way too. I was up till almost 2 Wednesday night, and then almost 1 Thursday night, and then midnight last night, and so I feel you, dude. I'm going up against Gary Oldman. I am fighting Commissioner Gordon himself. That's right. I'm fighting Dracula. Look at him. Oldman. I can only assume that that's Gary Oldman. And look at this. He struck hard first. He drew first blood. Sirius Black. How did I forget Sirius Black? Right? Maybe it's because he fell into that pit. I don't know. But man, he struck hard first. Like, man. Anyways, so interesting. He doesn't have a huge roster. This man does not have a fluffy bottom. So I'm assuming. Let's actually take a look at his backside. He's got the fleet. He's got the fleet. He's got 4 GLs. He's got a lot of Relic 8 characters. A lot of Relic 7s, 5s. He seems very focused with his... Oh, look at how many 1s this fool's got. Woo, that's gonna hurt him. That's gonna hurt him. He's clearly not a long-time player who doesn't care about anything but collecting like I do. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So for those of you who don't know, I am live streaming on Twitch and YouTube. So up top, this is what we're looking at. We've got a Bosk. We've got Dooku, General Grievous, Newt, and Darth Sidious. I keep getting people that ask me, like, how do you get such teams, to go up against such teams? The correct answer is because I lose a lot. And I'm at the bottom of my chart, or whatever they call that. So then I'm going up against Mon Mothma, Luke, Commander Luke, CLS, Radis, which kind of surprised. He's got to be working on Radis currently. I mean, look at that. It's not a great Radis. But then we've got Dash and then Qui-Gon. So this is what I'm facing off against. Let's start at the bottom, and let's actually go ahead and look at Qui-Gon first. I'm going to go ahead and just use... I'm going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and just use Jedi Master Luke. It looks doable. 99.4% win rate. I'm probably going to be that 0.06. Let's see if there's anything that tenacity, armor, potency. Let's go tenacity. It's not a great data count, but he's got nothing, so let's give it a shot. Man, lots of stuff going on right now. And I am... Ooh! Opens up with a savage hit. I am excited to finally see Admiral Trench make it to the game. He's not in yet, obviously. But man, oh man, I am stoked to see him. I've been calling for Trench for a while, and I mean, obviously he was going to come eventually. He's one of those characters that is, you know, it's a good character, right? Solid character, and kind of important for the Separatist ships. I mean, I'm pretty stoked to finally see him make his way. Oh my, 68%, 68 points. That is a great way to start it off. Let's go over to Dash. Let's see what Dash is. He's got the tradition. No, he doesn't. He's got Dash. He's got Mando, and then he's got Miss Red, Miss Scarlet, if you will. I don't know. I think. Ooh, I'm seeing some different characters. I'm looking over on swugga.gg. Lots of different potential here. He does have a 7, 5, and a 5, so I don't want to use anything too little. Just seeing a lot of the same stuff. Let's go ahead. I'm going to do 5.0 first. This may work perfectly, or, you know, could bite me in the butt. Let's do another one of these non-Omicron Omicrons. So, plus armor, plus potency. Oh! Starset Comics. Excellent. Now, if you are a comic fan, thank you for the follow, Starset. I gotta ask, what are you reading now, and what should the people be reading? It's been a while since I've been reading mini comics. I've been doing a lot of audiobook, which is, for me, that's what I have time for, you know, because, you know, I'm always out doing something. So it's hard to stay up to date. I want to catch up with the Star Wars stuff, but actually for Christmas, and maybe you read it or not, I'm not huge into the Ninja Turtles. I mean, who doesn't love the Ninja Turtles, right? That's kind of like my thought on that. But like, there's a book that came out with a Ninja Turtle book that came out, and it was called Last Ronin. And it was the last of the Ninja Turtles, kind of a thing. And I haven't had a chance to read it. I really want to. But it's on my list, right? On my to-read list for this year for sure. Actually went to Barnes & Noble the other day, and I totally spaced looking for it. I got the book I intended to get, but nothing more. But, you know, which is probably a good thing. The new Punisher series. I always read Amazing Spider-Man, Star Wars, and Star Wars Darth Vader are always on my regular reading list. I'm rereading the Jeff Johns Green Lantern run. All right, good to know. I've never read Green Lantern. I'm a super fan of Batman. Super fan's a strong word. I'm a fan of Batman. I love Batman. I think he's a great character. One of, I don't know, the better superheroes. You know, he's flawed. He has mistakes. He's just good. But never read Green Lantern. That's good to know. What was the one I was going to say? One of the ones that I always recommend, I have this in my classroom, is Superman Red Sun. And if you haven't read it, you need to, because it is amazing. The premise is, what would happen if Superman landed on Earth 12 hours earlier, right? So essentially, you take the Earth, you know, he landed in what, Kansas, I think, and you just spin the globe. New 50 is gradually growing more on me. to pick up those. All right. And essentially what it does is it puts Superman, this ultimate hero who is more than human, right? Obviously. And it puts him in Russia, right? The all-American boy becomes a communist. And it is an absolutely fascinating story. And it is so cool. I love it. Let's do this. I'm not sure if this is going to work without this guy, but Radis is lower, so we'll see. But love it. It is hands down one of my favorite. Again, not a huge Superman fan, but woo, that is just, there's just something to it that it's so good. And I haven't read it in years, but it's in my classroom, and anytime I get kids who are like, "Oh, what do I want to read? I want to read a comic book because that's cheating," and I'm like, "It's not cheating. It's reading. Read something you're interested in." And then they're like, "Oh, what do I want to read?" And I'm like, "Here's Superman. Read Superman." It is so good. It is so good. And then I've got a couple other like small one-off Supermans. Superman comics. I can't say Supermans. Supermans. It's Superman. Superman comics. Going after CLS now. What's a good anti-CLS? Ooh. That's interesting. I'm looking at Swugga.gg, and I'm kind of like measuring my odds, seeing what people use and what they've had success with. One thing that people have had success with is a straight, let me bring it up. And I don't know, maybe I could. Oh, I absolutely could. Bring up this Sith. Maybe if I don't think I put him on defense. Yes. So Sith allies suffer tenacity and others. So it's not a great leadership ability, but I do have this. Savage gains 50% defense, max health, and offense at the start. At the start of the encounter, Savage gains 2 stacks of resilience. Defense at the end of his turn, Savage gains 2 stacks of resilience. Resilient defense, max 10. For each debuff on other Sith allies, so that doesn't matter. When Savage is critically hit, he gains 16% health steal and offense, stacking at 160, and all other Sith gain, so that doesn't matter as much. Recover 15% health and protection and gain 10% turn meter until the end of the encounter. That's nice. So every time he gets hit, critically hit, which CLS does a lot of, he gets more turn meter. Has resilient defense, plus 50% defense per stack, and is inflicted with vulnerable, which can't be prevented or dispelled. Against taunt, his dispel. I'm going to try it. Let's see how this goes. Court of Owls mini run is Batman of all time. Really? Talon villain, I can almost promise will be something they bring to the screen. Interesting. That's good to know. I've seen the Court of Owls. Like I've seen it in stores and like when I've looked at online, because I do buy my comics usually from Amazon. I probably should. Oh, stuns and blind. That's a good point. Let's do this. I'm gonna give this a shot. This could make or break me, but whatever. But no, I've seen the Court of Owls. I just haven't. Yeah, I'm gonna lose this one, I think. But no, like I haven't actually given it a chance. There's Maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see. There's a website that I use that, you know, has like free comics. I'm sure it's not legit, but it's, you know, what I use. But then what I do is, if there's a comic that I really, really like, I go through and I buy it, you know, because, you know, there's just so many out there that it's, you know, like, I want to support those, especially the smaller groups, you know, the independent comic book artists. Those are the ones that I really, really enjoy. There's a, yeah, that's my point. If you can read them for free, then that's win-win, right? There's a guy that I used to work with. He has a podcast called the Comic Book Crusaders. I've thought about that. I don't know if I read enough, and that's the thing. Part of me actually wants to get like a tablet from my classroom, and then have the Marvel Unlimited. Just, you know, $60 a year. Kids can have, you know, can read as many comics as they want, you know, if they're interested. You know, I think that would be pretty cool. But I don't know, like, I haven't. Come on, Luke, what you got for me? Boom, shakalaka. Take that, turd muffin. Not a critical hit, but I'll take it. Boom, shaboom, shabam. No, I just, a lot of the great Star Wars stuff that's been coming out has come out recently through the comics, and I'm excited to see where some of this goes. You know, Azura over on YouTube. Happy Saturday, man, or madam. I don't know. Azura is blue. Isn't that what Azura? Azure. But I don't know. But I don't mean to right off the bat misgender you, or make fun of you if that's what you feel like it was. But welcome, happy Saturday. Afra was. Oh my gosh, yeah. And Afra is, if you've not read the Dr. Afra series, such a good. And now I will admit, I've only read the first run of the Dr. Afra series, and I need to go back and catch up where she is, because she's such a good character. I really think that Afra could make it into, I don't know, like, live action. I think Afra should make it into live action, actually. Afra's such a great character, and I love the droids. The droids would be awesome to see in live action, even in passing. I would love for 000 and BT to be the new R2-D2 and C-3PO. You know, like cameo style. I don't want them to obviously replace. I'm going to go ahead and put it on auto because I'm getting my butt kicked, and, you know, I don't know if I could click fast enough. But, like, you know how R2 and C-3PO are they show up a lot, and I would love BT and 000 to just randomly show up. I think that would be awesome. I think that would be so much fun. They just randomly cause problems, and kill things. I don't think we would see it necessarily in a Bad Batch style show, simply because it's not kid friendly enough. Because it wouldn't be kid friendly enough to do it justice, or it wouldn't be. It's too kid friendly to do it justice. Although Bad Batch, woo! All right, so this was a misstep on my part. But, you know, I got rid of one of them. Not a great loss, but my character name is Star Wars Galaxies. Nice. I tried to get into Galaxies. I have a good friend who, and maybe you are that good friend, I don't know, who tried to get me into it, but I could just never. I never could. I always wanted to, but I could never just. I don't know. I just never could, and so I always felt kind of bad that, like, he loved it so much, and he's like, "Yeah, this is so great." I'm like, "Yeah, I like it, but I don't know," because it was at the same time that like he was playing it before Star Wars: The Old Republic came out, and so like that was a whole thing, and he was really upset, and he's like, "Oh." In fact, I have bought recently. I go to my local consignment store. No, so Starset, I'm double streaming on Twitch and YouTube. So so people are talking over there as well. So go ahead and hit bigs for a big ol' win, for a big ol' hit. Kill. Oh, I can attack as Mon Mothma. Wunderball! That's awesome. Let's go ahead and kill her. Stop her from bringing back stuff back over, right? But yeah, I used to. I played for a little bit and I could just never get into it. I mean, I love MMOs. I love the open world. I just really struggle sometimes without. What do you call that? Structure. That's why I struggled so hard. Yeah. That's when I struggle so hard with like stuff like Elder Scrolls, right? I love the concept of that. Like I spent I think an hour creating my character when I was playing Elder Scrolls, and I was something I don't even remember at this point. But like I was done. I was like I can't. It's too much. It's too time consuming for me, because after I spent the hour, I then went around with my bow and just killed a bunch of people like randomly, and it wasn't. I don't know. It was interesting because that's all I did. I got really good. I got my bow skill really high before I even finished like the first quest. It was ridiculous. So like I need structure, and so Galaxies was a little too much for me. Same thing with the Old Republic, because the Old Republic, it was like never ending, right? I need a game to be done, right? And I need to be able to put it away and then say, all right, I can come back to it in 6 months. That's why, to be completely honest, that's why I've struggled a little bit with Swugga, because it is never ending. I achieve the thing that I'm going for. I get the thing that I want. Then I'm like, oh, something new. And it becomes kind of time consuming, right? I would love to be able to just sit around and play with my roster, right? And I don't have, there's not a mode right now where you can do that. There's not a PvE-esque mode where you can like actually go and really enjoy the fruits of your labor, right? Let me bring up General Grievous. I think I'm just going to use CLS with this one. Although, now that I'm looking at it, of course. Oh, actually, you know what? Screw that. I'm going to bring in my Night Sisters. Oh, no, I'm not, because I might need my Night Sisters later, just in case. I'm going to go ahead and check out the backside. I'm going to go see what I can do on that back end, and let's get rid of CLS real quick, and then we can start making better decisions. I'm going to use the Resistance. No, I'm going to use the correct Ray this time. Last time I used Ray, GL Ray, for this battle, and it was was a little bit of overkill. I won't lie to you. It was. Yeah, that's the thing is like they are always bringing in new people. Like they're always bringing it. So Starset Comics over on Twitch says it's what they bet on. It's what they kind of like build towards, right? If they ever actually do a sandbox GAC kind of thing, I'll be convinced they want this to stick around for another 5 years, and they do. They've said that actually early on, and we're what 7 years in. They early on they said they have decades. They have 10 years worth of stuff, content to produce, which I think is an understatement. I think if they are pulling from, which now they're pulling from everywhere, it's not just like canon, right? They absolutely they would absolutely just have a ton of stuff. So they need to find a way to include other things. All right, let's go ahead and start doing some real stuff. Yeah, Azura, I think so. Azura says he loves the idea of Marvel's comic subscription. Like I keep tons of comics in my classroom. In fact, I'm always buying books. Comics are a little harder because they're a little more expensive usually. But I'm always buying books for my classroom, and I'm always buying I'm buying comics as often as I can. I have, and I'm a little nervous saying this. I'm not super nervous saying this to you guys, but I'm a little nervous saying this to my parents. I don't hide it or anything. I have the entire Walking Dead series, and I teach at a middle school. And I tell my students, I say, look, if there's a book you don't want to read, don't read it. I'll never force you to read a book. If we're reading something in class and you're like, you know what, I don't feel comfortable reading this. And I try not to teach things that make kids feel uncomfortable. But I'm just like, look, if you don't like this book, tell me, talk to me. Helenix! What's up, my friend? But I tell him, I'm just like, look, man, if you don't feel comfortable, don't read it. You know, don't. What is going on with my internets? Yeah, don't read it. Don't pick it up. You know, and so I'm just going to go ahead and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use him. But like. Break a leg. Oh, awesome. As always. How are you, Helly? But no, I throw a lot of comics out there, and I've got a lot of kids who have like, you know what, I've always wanted to read. I've always wanted to, like, I watched The Walking Dead with my parents, or I've watched The Walking Dead, and I'm curious about it, and so I'm like, all right, well, here's the graphic novels. But then what I also do is, and I don't know if you guys know this, but The Walking Dead also has books that go with it. If you're a fan of The Walking Dead, and I've enjoyed it, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna be one. My wife's like, "Is this show still on? Why?" And I'm like, "Cause it's fun. You know, it's got its ups and downs for sure. It's fun. I enjoy it." And but with the books, if you're familiar with the storyline, there's the storyline of Woodbury. So it's like the crew runs into this like well-organized town, but they've got this like gladiatorial arena where, you know, non-infected people can go up against infected people, and you know, it's the whole two sides of society kind of. It's a really interesting storyline. In the show, the people from Woodbury actually join the people from Rick's crew, but in the books that's not what happens. In the books they separate, and it's a whole thing, and it's really, really interesting. I haven't seen The Last of Us episode 1. I downloaded it. I'm going to watch it. I'm really excited. I'm a little nervous because, one, I haven't played the game, and that's huge because, like, I want to. I really want to, but if you don't know, The Last of Us is not on PC, but it will be as of March 3rd of this year. So about a month and a half, and we only have to wait the shortest month, you know, because January is almost over. We only have to wait the shortest month to get to this. So I'm really excited for it, to be honest. Let's do. And so I will get it. I'm very stoked. I'm gonna do this, and so we'll see how it goes. I will play it. I don't know if I'm gonna stream it because I'll scream, because I would stream it at night, obviously. Because why wouldn't you? Just in case. No, I gotta build up some. Anyways, so I'm really excited for it, but I haven't watched the first episode, so I'm really, really stoked. Yeah, and maybe watching the show first, I won't feel so terrified when I get to the episode, because it's supposed to be like a really good adaptation. From what I've heard, it's like one of the best adaptations. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I might try to watch it tonight. But yeah. I am, to put it mildly, scared. I'm very, very scared. Like, I got to the point with The Walking Dead that I was like, meh, I can watch this by myself at 3 a.m. and not worry. But that first episode of The Walking Dead, having never seen it before, was terrifying. It was so scary. And so I have this feeling that's what this is going to be. And so I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited for it for sure. Absolutely for sure. Let's see. Let's bring up Bosk. I'm gonna do this with Bosk. Probably don't need it, but just in case. But yeah, I do really want to watch The Last of Us. Like, I'm really excited for that. I gotta say, and then this is, I always want to give a show a chance. So I heard of Velma. Okay, so if you don't know, like Scooby-Doo, Mindy Kaling, I don't know how to say her last name, picked up the show, and she's like, I'm going to tell the Scooby-Doo story from Velma's perspective. It's super adult, which kind of bothers me. It kind of bothers. I only watched the first episode. I haven't seen a ton of it, and so before I will watch the whole first season before I make the judgment. I'm a little upset that Scooby's not in it, right? I have this real problem with having a Scooby-Doo show and no Scooby-Doo. And you can say, oh, it's a Velma show, but no. I mean, Velma is a character in the Scooby-Doo gang. Velma's connected to Scooby in the same way that Shaggy is not maybe not the same way, but a similar way that Shaggy's connected to Scooby. And so to have a Scooby-Doo show without Scooby bothers me. It does. Now, so far, episode 1, not bad. Not bad. It's not my cup of tea. Like, I'll watch it because I'm curious now. The trolls, I say trolls. They're not trolls. They're just people who were upset by it, right? They're upset by the concept of it. And I can understand that. I can completely understand that. Because this is not the Scooby that they grew up with, right? And it does take a little bit away from that Scoob, right? But so too to some of the other Scooby-Doos that have been created. The TV show, the movie Scoob was just not good. Sorry, Mark Wahlberg, but it just wasn't good. Yeah, and that's the big. I think you're right. I think that's exactly what it is. It's not. It's not that they said. It is. It's a self-insert. Velma is Mindy Kaling. It's as simple as that. She is that character, right? She's not Velma. Now, I will say that Mindy Kaling and Velma have some overlap in personality. I would say that is accurate. Mindy Kaling is a how do I say this without being a total jerk? Thick actress, and she's kind of used. She hasn't always been. I don't know. That seems wrong, and I'm not trying to fat shame anyone. Me, of all people. I don't know. It's hard to see this with like my neck. I've got a fairly thin neck, but the rest of me, not so much. I'm not trying to fat shame anybody, but like she's made a career out of being herself, right? And you're right. She's inserting herself into the Velma role. Velma has always been a fairly shy character, right? A wallflower. She was meant to be a wallflower. Like, that was the original design of Velma. And when she was created, that was okay in society. And you know what? It's still okay for people to be wallflowers. Not everyone has to be the center of attention at all times. You know? Sorry. Like, I just, like, it's not a terrible thing for someone to be able to say, you know what? I'm not going to engage with that. Or I'm not going to whatever. Fine. Don't. Be yourself. Right? And just to say that I'm going to change this character because she needs to be in your face because I grew up with her and now I'm in your face, I think that's wrong. It is. Let's go ahead and just go use the whole Hut Cartel. Boom, shablam, and let's get some of this. But so far, like, the show's interesting. They've changed Fred. They've changed Daphne. They've changed everyone to be a kind of this like woke character group. Shaggy's black. You know, like some of these things, like race changing. All right, fine, whatever. It's a new take. Totally legit. That's your thing. I will say, though, that if they start attacking people because of it, like, oh, you don't like this, you don't like that, then you must be whatever, that's not okay. Because if you change something that people have grown up on and someone doesn't like it, that's their personal taste. They're not racist, they're not homophobic, they're not whatever. Like the opening scene of Velma is teenage girls in the shower. I mean, it doesn't show anything. It talks about it, like it is in your face about it. And I gotta say, man, as I was watching this, I was like, man, Casey Kasem would have like shat himself, you know, if he saw this, right? Like, it was weird. right? Like, and it wasn't weird. It was modern and fine. Modern has its place. I get that. And this is a remake and it's whatever. But again, if people don't like it, it's because you've changed something that they grew up on. Like I spend days. I've spent days in my entire life. Like my oldest and I have watched, like every, oh my gosh. CT. I've got to look him up. Oh. Freaking A, Cody. What do you go by in this game? CC. That's what it is. Well, that's why I couldn't think of it. We've watched every season of Scooby-Doo. We've watched all the movies, right? We've watched it all, you know, and I can't watch this with her, right? This isn't something that I can say, all right, let's sit down and watch Velma, because no, right? She's 11. That would make me a bad parent. So, like, yeah, I just... Do I need to do this? No, I don't need to do that. But yeah, I just... Like, again, if you don't like it, you don't like it. And you don't like it because it's very different from what Scooby is. What the Shaggy Gang is. Now, if you want, and I'll say this, if you want a darker, broodier version of Scooby-Doo, and it is a Scooby-Doo series, go through and watch. It was on Netflix. I was just told that it was taken off. Go through and watch Mystery Incorporated, or it's Mystery Inc. Right now, that's the name of the Scooby Gang's like business, right? Mystery Incorporated, but it's 2 seasons. It's a story. It has an actual storyline. It's a continuum, so it's all stories kind of like lead to the main story, and it is amazing. What they actually do is they take what do you call it? The mythos of H.P. Lovecraft, and they bring it in, and it is so good. Azura, thank you for the follow. It is so good. Like it's dark, it's scary. This too is not a show that you can watch with little kids. But it's not so out of the realm of Scooby-Doo that you're like, what did I just watch? Right? And so totally worth it though. Totally worth it. Huge fan of that series. 100% recommend. But again, that's a way to take a show, make it darker, make it more modern, and they do, right? Velma is more aggressive on that show, but she's still Velma, right? She's still the character that you've, you know and love. Right? I don't know. I just huge fan. Actually, I a couple of months ago, I asked my students as the class was ending, I was like, what? I'm like, because they know I like cartoons. I'm like, what cartoon should I watch? And I made a list of all the cartoons that I had watched and things that I had heard of. And they were like, yeah, you should watch that. No, that's not that good. Or, and it was they came up with a huge list of like shows. Death Note. And so, like, I've heard Death Note. Like, I've heard of Death Note. I haven't watched it yet. It's anime has been. I've had an interesting relationship with anime. I grew up with Dragon Ball Z, and I loved it. It was so cool. It was so good. And it was so much fun, right? But one of the things that so pissed me off was like they would spend half the episode yelling at each other and like powering up. And like the power-ups were awesome. It was like so cool. And it was like, this is dope. This is so cool. And it's like, that guy's become a Super Saiyan. And then he grew a tail. And now he's a giant monkey. And, you know, his power level's over 9,000. It was awesome. It was so neat. Yeah, and I know Death Ball's not Dragon Ball Z. But like I've really struggled with it. But because that was my intro to it. One thing that I've considered, and I've been trying to get my youngest to watch it with me because she's wanted to watch it, is let's see, Avatar. I haven't watched Avatar yet, and I've seen bits and pieces of it, but I've not gone through it entirely, and I need to. Like I absolutely need to. It's one that's like not just on my list, but it's like it's high on my list. This is a show that is like absolutely, it has to be part of my future. And because it's so well put together. Cowboy Bebop is one that I've considered. Cowboy Bebop was around when I was on Adult Swim, right? Right. I was a huge, when Adult Swim was around, and I still think it is, but like when it was a big thing, it was my jam, man. Like, Adult Swim saved Family Guy. Adult Swim saved Futurama. Adult Swim gave us, what was it? There's so many other great shows. The Venture Brothers. Like so many wonderful shows that I'm a huge fan of. And it was, you know, end of high school, college, when it was, for me at least, when all of this was going on. And so like I loved a lot of these shows. And so like I always saw Cowboy Bebop but I never got into it because, you know, it always came on at like 1 a.m. And like in high school I was like, I'm not gonna stay up to that. I got school in the morning. And then in college I was like, I've got other things, girls and stuff. Yeah, it was just on, right? Can I do a live stream Wednesday night? I think I can. I can do a live stream Wednesday night. That shouldn't be a problem. Tuesday night we are going to be going over the last 2 episodes of The Bad Batch, which I'm excited to talk about. I really am. We didn't get a chance to do it this week because stuff and things. Just it didn't work out, and so, but I'm really excited to talk about these last 2 episodes. All right, all Hellenix, shoot. So Cowboy Bebop. What was the one? Like Avatar, Death Note. Death Note, like I've considered a couple of times, simply because like I'm familiar with it. I know the concept of it. It looks like a great show. But it's just not one that I have watched it, you know? Let's see. Let's go to the negotiator first. But yeah, I am. There's so much that I want to watch. So I've decided that this year I'm only going to read books. So last year I was on this competition, and I started too late, and it was it was $50 if I read like all of these things. And I got close. I got really close. And I just didn't finish because I lost my drive towards the end, because it was like I ended up having to read a bunch of books that I wasn't interested in, and I was like, fine, whatever. And so I totally lost my drive. And so, Helenex, to answer your question, 16 episodes is the answer. And so this year I decided, I'm like, look, I'm only going to read books that I absolutely love, that I'm absolutely wanting to read. Some of those books, I'm going to tell you right now, are going to be garbage. I have fallen in love with it's the remakes or the novelizations of the Resident Evil video games. And they're not good books. They're novelizations of a game. So they're not meant to be like these overly great, phenomenal books. They're just meant to be the novelizations of the game. Now, there's some books that are mixed in that are well done. You know, I'm going to go ahead and hit up Han Solo first. Goodbye, Han. But like, I bought them used. I bought it back in the day and absolutely love them. They're so much fun. And I got 2 books left for the series. And I might go on to the other books for it. We want to bring this in. Solomon Grundy! Good luck to your son. May he help in bringing the robot apocalypse upon us. Right? And then may you be safe when our robot overlords eventually take over. But good luck to little Grundy. But yeah, like I've decided that's all I'm going to do. And then the same, I'm only going to watch shows that I feel like I want to watch, right? I don't want to waste my time anymore, you know, trying to binge stuff that may not be good or may not be, I don't know, I may not enjoy, you know? Ooh, Attack on Titan. I've actually seen that. Or not, I haven't seen that, but I've seen ads for that. In fact, like Attack on Titan is one of those that it makes its way up a couple of times. What am I doing? Okay, yeah. Radis. So that is one that I'm curious about. In fact, I've considered actually getting some of the books, because I know a lot of my kids like Attack on Titan, a lot of my students, and so it's like, do I get the books? And the answer is probably yes, right? But Samurai Shampoo, I've heard of that one. Like, these are all the Black Lagoon and Berserker, 2 that I haven't heard of, but the other ones I've all heard of, right? Which is impressive if you think about it. Like, you have a type of show that I'm not familiar with or not something that I've watched, but like has enough buzz and media around it that it's like, oh yeah, you may want to consider this. Like, that's an impressive thing, you know? Ghost in the Shell. Since I was a kid, I have always wanted to watch Akira. It's just the movie of the guy on the red motorcycle. Like, I've just never watched it, but I feel like I need to. You know, I feel like I absolutely need to watch Akira. So, it's on the list. Sorry, I just had to chug that real quick. But there's, like, that's the thing, is there's so much good stuff out there that, like, I don't know. I want to spend my time enjoying my time. You know? Like, I don't want to have to, like, I don't like this. Why am I watching it? Why am I spending my time? You know, like that. Life's too short. You know? Okay. You need to die now, B-Wing. But, yeah. Mostly because, like, today I'm actually going out looking for a table. Kitchen table. Gotta love being an adult, right? When that's, like, the most important thing you do in a weekend. So, we'll see how that goes. But, like, you know, it's just, I'm not going to have a ton of time to do other things. And so, you know, I want to spend my time wisely, effectively, you know? So, I don't know. So here we are. Last battle. Let's look at, who is this? The Chimera. Did I just use all of my best? Well, looks like the Chimera needs to have, should have had any of the other two teams that I just used. Crap. Well, let's go ahead and do the negotiator and see how far we get. I mean, it's doable, I think, right? It feels like it should be, at least. Alright, let's go here. Then here, then here. I'm just bringing them all in. So, no, I'm really excited about this year as far as, like, nerd culture and some of my favorite nerddoms, and I'm looking forward to, like, getting into a few of the other ones. I tried to go back. This was a huge mistake. When my youngest was, maybe not my youngest, when my oldest was just a little younger than she is now, I tried to watch Dragon Ball with her, and that was a huge mistake. I forgot how terrible, how perverted Master Roshi is. Oh, it was awesome. Oh, Gary Oldman beat me by 6 points. 6 points. But, you know, I've lost to worse players, right? It was this one right here. Sorry, I was too quick. I was too fast. That's what she said. Oh, terrible. But you know what? I stream not so that I can win. I stream so I can, you know, talk with you guys and have fun. I've always said that I'm a collector, and this is what I do. This is just how I show off my collection. So let me show you guys where I'm at right now. This is so frustrating. I am slow farming these guys. Now, the next time Profundity is around, I should be able to get it to 6-star. I'm not going to go balls to the wall all the way to 7-star. I think I have enough crystals to do it. I just don't have enough time in the event to do it. And I'm not going to, like, break myself trying to do that. So I'm going to try to get it to 6-star because I have enough crystals. And then, I don't know, I'm at 78 of 100 for the Star Fortress. So, you know, I'll have that in 2 months, 3 months, whenever. Same thing with the Raven's Claw. They're on their way, you know. But this is where I'm at, right? So I've got Jabba the Hutt. For now, I've got Lord Vader as my journey guide character. It's not really who I'm working on, per se. What I'm trying to do is get these characters who are easiest to get to 12 to level 12 to gear 12 up, right? These are characters for the most part that have been in the game that don't require a ton of additional, like, unique gear points, right? So if I can get them to gear 12, then I can let them sit for a bit, and then once I have kind of an abundance of or more of this stuff, then I can just kind of, like, pick and choose who I need to take to what relic when, where, and how, right? Kira is what I'm focusing on now because she's one of those characters that is or will be beneficial in the new territory battles. So that's a thing. Plus, I like using Kira with Infest Nest, and she's just not been good enough for now. I am farming the Night Sisters. These are the low-level Night Sisters. They were the two closest that I had to... oh, no, that was not the Night Sisters. Those are my Inquisitorius. The 7th and 2nd sister. I always get it confused because I say 9th sister. They were the two that were closest. I'd gotten gear. I think I'd gotten packs or something like that or whatever. And so these are the two that I'm focusing on now. Once they're done, I'll jump over to the 8th brother, and then the 9th sister. I just was spreading myself too thin when I was farming all of them together. I did finally get the 9th sister is Shrek. She is. She absolutely is. She was designed after Mike Myers. I did finally get all of my Bad Batch to 7-star. Now it's just the arduous task of getting them to a relic level, which sucks. I think what I'll probably do with that is, if I am still working on Lord Vader, what I'll do is I will get the characters to relics. I'll choose one character to focus a relic on, and then I'll choose one character to focus gear on, right? And that'll be how I kind of like build that up. And then once I get the relic to where it needs to be, I'll move to the gear. I'll move to a different relic. And then once I get the gear to where it needs to be, then I'll move to a different gear, right? And then it'll just be that matter of constant build. Now, ultimately, though, I would much prefer... let's go over the journey guide. As much as I want Lord Vader, and I do, I like Lord Vader, I would prefer Aphra, and to a lesser extent, the Grand Inquisitor. I like the Grand Inquisitor. I like his kit. I just love Aphra, but they are not characters that I can farm easily yet. It might be the full year before I farm for Aphra. I don't know. It'll really depend on where they end up, because let me jump back over here. I turn away before I need to. I've got Hondo. I haven't even begun trying for any of these three. I don't even know if they're out yet. I mean, I'm sure they are, but I mean, because it's been a hot minute, right? No, that's Zori Bliss. Can you farm him yet? Yes, you can. So I don't know. Maybe I make the switch and just jump to Aphra after this, because I love me these two murder droids. They are my favorite. They are so much fun. And where's Staros? Yeah, so Staros isn't out yet. And so, I mean, I could buy the character. I don't want to. It's fun. It's fun. Anyways, guys, I hope you have a great Saturday, a great rest of your weekend. I hope everything goes your way. Be safe out there. If you guys are going to hit the snow, or if you're going to be out and about, just be safe, be careful, be nice to each other. And remember, my friends, to always smile